Time signalled on, and we're underway in what should be a pretty tough encounter. The Penrith side, as we mentioned earlier, the number of changes. There looks to be a pretty strong wind behind Penrith, Bill.
There is. It's a very strong southwesterly in favour of Penrith in this first half, and we can expect to see Neil Baker and Rod McNeil take full advantage of it.
Well, McNeil, of course, got a lot of raps early in the season. Went off the boil a little, but he can certainly kick a football.
Won a man of the match award.
He did indeed. Now the Panthers have it inside their own quarter. And the penalty has been given to Penrith. There were, what, 3 markers there, I think, at one stage. So Baker will take the kick for touch. The changes that have been made in the Penrith side may have robbed them of some attacking flair, but they're certainly a very strong defensive team. Goodwin playing it just on the halfway mark as Simmons gets it away to Gerard. Takes play inside North Sydney's territory. Delaney shows the dummy and makes a little half break. This is Van der Voort. Bella in there to make the tackle. Delaney has it. Now Mortimer and the run around with Delaney. Losing his footing though. And held by Smith. Out for Baker. Baker's kick is out on the full.
Yes, just a little bit too strong there from Baker with his right foot kick for touch. All this strong breeze behind him. State Bank replay.
For the first scrum of the match, it'll be worked by MacArthur. Referee Annesley giving his instructions. I heard him when they tossed earlier, telling both captains that he would not tolerate any back chat at all. Penrith caught offside. So Florimo will kick for touch. Doesn't gain a lot of distance, but he certainly made sure of it. Now Bosted with the tap, with Ray, and back for Bosted. Simmons the tackler. Here comes Bella. Smith. And a scramble for possession, finally picked up by MacArthur. That ball looked like it was touched by Penrith, and they've come up with possession. McNeil played it. This is Doug Delaney trying to burrow his way up to the halfway mark. And he's lost a shoe in the process. Now Mortimer getting it on to Baker. Held by Florimo and French. Cartwright. Strong North Sydney defence. 3 of them there to make that tackle. Simmons. Giving a short ball away to Matt Goodwin, who's gone without it. And North Sydney come up with it right on the halfway mark. Florimo and French. The French brothers, of course, in the centre. That was Ian French. Hanson. Short of halfway. Bella. All wrapped up. Mortimer in there to make the tackle. Along with Izzard. Now MacArthur getting it on to Florimo. And then Ian French, Brett French, and his pass has been knocked down.
Yes, they had an exceptionally deep back line there, as the State Bank replay shows, but there's the handling error that brought the movement undone. A little bit of a chat from the touch judge here on some incident that he's seen. He's going to get one of the Penrith players come out, but while we're doing this, we'll have a look at these lower grade scores. In the under-21s, North 24, Penrith 19. It wasn't a bad game. I didn't see all of it, but in reserve grade, a very hard, very evenly contested bout. 10-4 going to Penrith, and by gee, they really earned their money in that one, I can tell you.
So it was a bit of a chat for both centres, Brett French and Graham Bradley. Now Chris Mortimer. And don't argue there for Florimo. A bit of an elbow as he got up to play the ball as well. And now the penalty's going to come for Penrith. North Sydney inside the 5 metres.
It's a very stop-start game here. Watch Chris Mortimer. He actually used the hand that he was carrying the ball in as a bit of an elbow wipe there to Florimo. The referee didn't see that. The penalty's gone to Penrith.
So this will be a chance for Neil Baker. 40 metres out, right in front of the post. There's the distance for you. 48 goals from 75 attempts in 1988.
He won't have any trouble getting the distance. Whether he gets the accuracy is another matter, but he's a powerful kicker. With this breeze behind him, he'll clear the dead ball line easily, I think.
It'll be interesting to see at some stage today if the penalty does come around the halfway mark, if either side are keen to go for goal. With that big breeze that Bill Anderson mentioned at their backs, Penrith in the first half. Just a few steps back for Baker. Very casual approach to the ball. Sheer timing, he struck it very, very well. The touch judges never had to move. Fine goal from Baker to open the scoring. Penrith 2, North Sydney 0. To place the ball on halfway for the restart. Bill, a lot of drop ball early on. I think both sides can take a bit of an example out of the earlier games where they should be shortening their passes with this breeze.
Yes, well, they have been, and there you can see full use of the breeze being made by Chris Mortimer. That's a great kick back to Conlon, but I think also, Graham, the defences are coming up very quickly. That's putting pressure on, and that's causing drop balls as well.
Well, Paul Conlon bounced David Green backwards. He's still down, injured. Now Bella taking this ball up to the Penrith forwards inside the half of the Panthers. North Sydney missing the talents of Mark Graham this afternoon, especially here on the blind side. Solid defence coming in from Craig Connor on Gavin Jones. Smith for Florimo. And a great win, as I was mentioning, Mark Graham, a great win to the Kiwis over the Great Britain side. 12-10. They won that test match. And with it, I believe, they win the World Cup bonus points to put them in the final against Australia. So Penrith now inside their own 10-metre line. Green, who's only just back up on his feet after taking that knock. Bradley, very bunched this Penrith side. Really not stretched at all. Have a look at them all around the ruck.
Medium-sized Indian blanket to cover the lot of them.
And Rod McNear with a towering punt. But he was well placed, Paul Conlon, standing very, very deep. Now he'll try and link up with Andrew Simons. Gets around Izzard. Beats the defenders. Finds Simons. He's coming straight back across field. Bouncing off tackles. Some pretty mediocre ones too coming in from Penrith. Bella. Now Annesley again strong inside the 5 metres. The Penrith inside backs. And I just wonder if this breeze will be too strong for the kick at goal. Florimo has asked for the kick to be taken by Tony Ray. So it'll be good to judge just how strong this breeze is with this kick from Ray.
I know nothing about Ray as a goal kicker. He's an unknown quantity to me. Have either of you lads seen him go for a goal?
Yes, he does. He lays the ball down flat, and I have seen him kick on a couple of occasions. They haven't been difficult ones this year. I think that the few that he has had have been fairly close to the post in a couple of matches we had North Sydney. And I just doubt, again, just how tough this decision was for Florimo with the strength of this breeze. Well, he hasn't really struck it all that well. Just got there. It just had enough legs on it. Scraped over the crossbar. So that goal to Tony Ray. 2-2, Penriths and Norths.
Well, I think there are a few warning signs there that this Penrith side are a little lethargic. I mean, they've been very bunched in attack, and their defence has not been what it should be. And this is a game that they can ill afford to drop, because they are, as we all know, one of those many teams that are battling for the top 3 positions, and they can ill afford to take any sort of risks at all with this North Sydney side, but they will be helped by that sort of thing.
Yes, I'm inclined to agree with you up to a point. I don't have any confidence in North Sydney any longer. They've lost me as a football team this year. They're not a team capable of gutsing out a real hard effort, in my view.
Well, here's Mortimer making a little half break, almost to the quarter line. And here's Delaney switching at the attack again. Not much of Delaney, but he's a pretty tough customer. Simmons turning it back inside for Cartwright. Cartwright found support too and was able to slip it away. Delaney playing it just 10 metres out. Here's Mortimer. Running right around the defence and still going and getting a pass back to Delaney. And Delaney scores for the Panthers. Delaney backing up a strong run from Mortimer.
I was about to give the rap to Mortimer because the pass that came to him was a bad one, as you'll see now. He has to go back for it and pivot. Then he did what I thought was a classy bit of football. Although there was room for a touch of Shepherd there, he doubled around the way he'd come and offloaded a superb pass to Delaney, and Delaney's in for the first try. This was a classy bit of football. Now watch the way he doesn't continue to give a pass after taking a bad one. He had to turn full circle to take that. Then he elects to go back the other way. Now there's a suspicion he shepherded there slightly. The referee thought not, but at this point he gave a beautifully judged pass to Delaney. It was dead right. There was nothing wrong with it, and the pass was accepted and the try gained for Penrith. It was really a class bit of football.
Little Dougie Delaney in there as a replacement for Greg Alexander, scoring Penrith's 49th try of the year. And Baker with the attempted conversion. And again, the touch judges didn't have to move. Good kick from Baker again. So the Panthers move further in front of this North Sydney outfit. It's now 8 points to 2.
So North's plenty of possession so far in the early stages of this match. Conlon, the extra man there for Brett French. The pass was thrown behind him. So it's Penrith's turn now. And Annesley is going to get Brett French for not standing straight in front of the man playing the ball.
Yes, there's French there. He's come round and caught the dummy half. That's just not on. State Bank replay never lies. A lot of insane football being played by both sides. It's a little bit disappointing with Penrith so highly placed in the competition and not playing to some of the golden rules of rugby league, like not attempting to ruck the ball near your own line. If you've got a good breeze at your back, use it. Get it out on the other end of the field. Run the other team around.
2 from 2 for Neil Baker. This one about, well, there's Greg Alexander. What a valuable commodity in the rugby league world. Man that can turn a game of football in a twinkling. Baker again from about 35 metres out. Breeze at his back. Didn't strike that one as well as the first two. Pushed it to the right-hand side of the uprights and brought back now by Florimo. 8-2 the scoreline. Penrith over Norths. And it's North Sydney's turn now to work play away from their own quarter.
Adrian Toole playing it just outside the quarter line. But it's been a stop-start game. A lot of handling errors have marred it. Particularly the North Sydney backs, they've had some awful trouble with their handling like that. Kerry Bowstead had to really stretch right out to try and bring that ball in. It was an awful pass.
Yeah, I mean, what do you do with a pass like this? Look at this. This is ridiculous. Down at the feet of a wing three-quarter with a bit of room to move. Nobody's suggesting he would have scored a try, but I mean, it just for continuity's sake.
Well, North Sydney backs caught offside. Florimo asking a question or two. Those handling errors we talked about, North Sydney made 8 of them and Penrith have contributed 3. Well, Baker's elected to kick for touch here.
Differential.
And with the differential, he had no choice. So Simmons with the tap, getting it away to Goodwin. Here's Connor. Nothing fancy about Connor. Head down, backside up. Well, there's an awful pass from Royce Simmons, meant for Matt Goodwin. He just flicked it behind his back, as you saw. Goodwin not only was not there, but he couldn't pick up on the bounce, and North Sydney have it. And Bella takes it up towards the quarter line, and North Sydney are going to get a penalty.
Yeah, Jeff Gerard swung a right arm into Bella there that the referee didn't like the look of. Watch it, bang. There it goes, right round the face. I don't think you could kill Martin Bella with an axe, but nonetheless, the referee thought that was not kosher. Incidentally, I have to say this, I'm not in the business of bagging footballers. When I look at Martin Bella, I don't see an Australian front row forward.
Okay, well, Bella will play it about 8 metres short of halfway. I'll say that so far in this match, Penrith's performance leaves a lot to be desired for a side that is co-competition leader, or they were going into this weekend anyway. The scrums have favoured Penrith 3-2, and the penalties 4-3 to favour Penrith as well. Florimo getting it away to French. And MacArthur got it to Bella. Bella thought he saw a little gap and takes play back over the halfway mark. Tony Ray getting it away to Hansen. Awful pass from Hansen, dear oh dear, picked up by Gavin Jones and then given away to Conlon. Conlon's kick is down for Baker. He's on his own line by the time he picks it up. MacArthur chasing him vigorously, and well, he got away from MacArthur. Baker, now he's finally brought down about 11 metres out from his own line. Gary Smith making the tackle. David Green from dummy half. Van der Voort. Held by Ray. Take the opportunity to say hello to some Penrith supporters watching in Perth through the new 10 over there. Glad you're enjoying the football, particularly those fellows in Greenwood who are the Penrith supporters who wrote to me. I don't think you'd be all that happy with the way your side's going at the moment. They're in front, but not looking all that flash. Well, Sydney in possession on the halfway mark. Hansen flicking it away, and Toole will play it. Now Florimo. Now Florimo again. Here's Hansen, caught by Simmons. Last tackle now for the Bears. Tony Ray's kick is taken by McNeil, and he is immediately thrown over the touchline.
That's about the cardinal sin as far as I'm concerned. It really is. The State Bank replay shows the lad had every opportunity to catch the football and come back infield. Instead gets bundled over the sideline, and no good to his side at all.
Well, all he's done now is put North Sydney on the attack once more. MacArthur can't get it out wide where they had an overlap. That pass was knocked down by a Penrith player. 6 more tackles. He was correct on that occasion, Annesley. Jones takes on Goodwin. They've been forced to defend on quite a few occasions inside their quarter, Penrith. They've managed to hang on so far. Bella goes the short blind side. The whole ground open up to North Sydney now. Hansen. To his feet about 5 metres out. Florimo for Ian French on the run around. Izzard read it, but Florimo was still too strong. Brushed him off. Back for Ian French. He's lost the ball. Chris Mortimer's going to come up with it. Another occasion now of Penrith just working play away for 1 or 2 before they go back for the kick, is it? It should be. A real danger area for them, but North Sydney on 2 or 3 occasions now have let them off the hook. Connor, taken high. Round the shoulders, says Annesley. Royce Simmons finds a hole for himself right up the middle. That's taken a bit of the pressure off. He'll be looking for a quick play of the ball now. Delaney has called for it. Well, he's put it down. So a mistake again.
I'm sure there was another game we could have televised. There must have been one other game we could have televised. This is a farce, the way these players are going. The error count is appalling.
Well, North Sydney just can't put Penrith away, though, every time they've had an opportunity like this. Conlon now. So Norths are on the attack. Let's see what they can come up with. Harry Smith, back for Ian French. There's no doubt that he used the elbow on at least one occasion there to try and free himself of a tackle. Bella, hit very subtly by the front row combination of Goodwin and Gerard.
What a double.
Ray, back around for Bella, for Smith. Jones, standing very, very flat on the blind side. He wasn't coming deep onto that pass. Florimo. Out for Toole. He's freed himself of a tackle, looked outside, just couldn't get the pass to Brett French. Last tackle for North Sydney. Back for MacArthur. He's tried to kick and find touch. It's going to bounce and roll dead in goal. And the play will come back to the quarter line. And, of course, the man we saw before on camera a little while ago, Greg Alexander, missing in this lineup for Penrith today. He's sidelined with Bill Anderson.
Well, Greg, a lead of 8 points to 2 to Penrith, but I suppose with this bruise you might have been looking for a bit more.
Well, you know, they've still got 15 minutes left, Bill. Hopefully they can get another try on the board before half-time. But, you know, with that wind, it'll be very hard running into it in the second half.
Penrith's defence is the best in the league, and it looks good again today. But do you think your attack needs a bit of sharpening up?
It probably does when you're looking at how many tries we've scored this year. We're probably not up there with the sides like Canberra and that. But, you know, well, I suppose there's only five games to go to the semi-finals, so I suppose we will have to look at that.
Delaney. It's gone back for Mortimer. And again...
Now, Collins caught the ball magnificently on returns about 5 times, run under the ball beautifully, even though he's standing in a fairly deep position. So the ball's coming to him very quickly with the wind. And he's one of the few North Sydney players that is playing to what I consider his form.
Now down the blind side goes Bella. Very good tackle there on MacArthur. Oh dear. I'll get it. Here comes Hansen. The passing and the handling is just awful. Florimo. Now to French. To Ian French. He's into the clear. First clear run we've seen for a long time. French looks for support. There comes Boosted. He's finally caught on the quarter line. Gerard the tackler. Last tackle now for North Sydney. And that was taken pretty smartly by Delaney. Now here's David Green. We've got a North Sydney player flat in his back, way downfield. That's one of the French brothers. Brett, I think it might be. Cartwright. A pass which has been knocked back and picked up by Simmons. Then to Mortimer and then to Baker. Now there's a chance here for Penrith. There's Izzard. Izzard's chimed in nicely. There's a floating pass out there for McNeil. McNeil's kick ahead has gone out on the full.
I think he's probably still going to get a penalty. Yes, the touch judge considers he was taken out of the play before or after he'd got rid of the ball. That was the incident. So there'll be a penalty come to them. That's the first time that Penrith have looked a class side. Izzard stirred his stumps and had a bit of a run. That's I would log him as having about 3 minutes of football in this first half. There are those that consider him a top-line footballer. I consider him to be a top-line footballer when he feels like playing, which isn't all that often.
So this will give Neil Baker another opportunity at goal. And Mark Cannon there on the sideline, warming up for Brett French. Very gingerly to his feet. So that may well be a case of a short stint in the head bin for Brett French. Baker from right out on touch. Strikes it well. Coming round the touch judges again. Never had to move a muscle. Terrific goal from Baker, stretching that lead for Penrith now to 10 points to 2.
Delaney and Van der Voort. Delaney again to Gerard this time. He takes the tackle. Last tackle signal for Penrith. Back for Baker, a shot at a field goal. And it's wide to the right-hand side of the post. So no change to that scoreline, with Penrith leading 10 points to 2.
North Sydney now with a restart from the quarter line. Toole. Straight forward for an easy gain of 10 metres. Bella. Likewise breaking tackles right through Craig Connor. Well, he lost that ball in the play the ball. Annesley let him get away with it. The ball was virtually thrown into the ground. So that really should have been picked up and brought back for a scrum. And now North Sydney are going to get a penalty. So there's another bonus for them.
Yes, compounding the errors. I don't know whether we can pick that play the ball up there, but that was a dreadful aberration allowed by the referee. And have a look at it now. You watch it. That's real good, isn't it? Yeah, that's a great one. That's a Australian front row forward.
Well, Annesley really did miss that. Should have been a scrum. Bowstead now putting North Sydney on the attack. Once again, their line very, very deep. Bella. This occasion he's quite correct in the play of the ball. Cut out passes here in the North Sydney attack, and again the ball goes astray. Really have put some pressure on themselves. Delaney right up the middle. Straight through goes the little man. Good run from Delaney. One of the better players in the Penrith side. Simmons. Really should be much better for Penrith in the conditions. Playing into the strong breeze, they should be able to shorten their passes and minimise their handling mistakes. Back for Baker. Looking for touch. Very short angle that he tried to work. Conlon was managed to get across and pick that up. He's been chased by Cartwright. Good running from Cartwright to catch him. Simons now. This game really just waiting for somebody to try and take it and turn it around. Bella just manages to drag that pass back in. Hansen. Back for Smith. Back for MacArthur. Gary Smith goes open side this time for Florimo. Long pass for Ian French. Forced back infield. Still going. Plenty of missed tackles there in the Penrith side. MacArthur. Overlap here for Simons. Cover defence, and strong cover defence coming across in the form of Doug Delaney.
Well, that wasn't a bad bit of play from North Sydney. That's the first time they've actually strung 6 or 7 passes together.
And now the kick from Tony Ray. Off the shoulder of David Green. Back into his own in-goal area. Confronted by Brett French, who he ran around. So North Sydney with 2 players down in back play. MacArthur's one. I think Simons is the other. So a very short defensive lineup for North Sydney if Penrith can use the ball to advantage. They have nobody back in cover defence as a sweeper. Bill Anderson mentioned in the first half that he thought the little chip kick was on. Vandervoort. Having trouble getting away from their quarter line. Back to Neil Baker. It's not going to be a problem for Conlon. Plenty of chases though this time. Goodwin brings him down with a nice low tackle. So a repeat passage of only a few moments ago. Simons out of dummy half. Gavin Jones. And he was running one out. Hansen. Likewise as he comes back across the ruck. Well taken by Florimo. Well, nearly well taken as he took the knock of Matt Goodwin. Straight for Simmons now possession. Delaney. The crowd getting anxious with both sides, I think.
The hell with the crowd. What about the commentators?
Gerard. Very simple stuff, but from the simple plans of both sides, they've come up with an amazing number of errors. Cartwright. Tried to free his hands. He does so for Connor. Back it comes infield for Green. Now for Goodwin, still going, bounced off the tackle. Just managed to stay in touch. Chris Mortimer's calling for the ball wide for the Penrith back line. Delaney looked for him. He went straight through Delaney, inside the 10-metre line. And last tackle for Penrith. Back it comes for Baker. Just sets himself for the drop goal. All the time in the world. Added the extra point. Cool as you please, Neil Baker.
Yes, the State Bank replay shows that Baker, former South Sydney player, had a multitude of time there to take a pot at goal and drop it right over the black dot. A real good one-pointer, taking the score on to 11 Penrith, Norths 2.
Bill, a change for Penrith.
Yes, Matt Goodwin will be coming off. He's carrying a hip injury, and Barry Walker in 28 will be going on. This is this kid's first go in first grade, so you can imagine how nervous he is.
Well, there he is, loosening up on the sideline. The game really does need an injection of something. Back for Ian French again, who's found some space. This time Tony Ray doesn't knock on, backing up the little kick out wide for Bosted, coming onto the ball. He needs the bounce. Just going astray. Knocked in goal, in fact, I think, by Izzard.
Yes, we'll see it here. It was a desperately close thing. Bosted on the hike there to try to get to it. Now watch it closely as we get to this point. And there's the clear knock on. And the ball seemed to come off a Penrith player and go over the touch and goal line, so it'll be a line dropout to restart the action. That's the closest they've come.
Excellent thinking from Tony Ray, who kicked ahead there for Bosted. And that change has been made. That Goodwin is off. As Baker takes the line dropout. And that's a massive drop kick into the breeze. Some 52 metres on the fly. Barry Walker straight into play. There's Penrith leading by 9 points, 11-2. The tempo of this game lifting just a fraction after that little scare given by North Sydney. Hanson now. Stolen. Away goes Bradley. Well, he had no real care the way he was carrying that ball, Hanson. Walker again into the play. First touch for him. On Cartwright now. For Delaney. No doubt he's been Penrith's best player. Stepping inside a high tackle from Conlon. Well, Annesley's going to rule the knock on here.
Yes, well, little Delaney really did a good job here. It came and took the pass on the shoulder of her support. Carried through one tackle that looks suspiciously high, submerged, but gets the pass away, and Green just couldn't handle it at the end, and the inevitable knock-on came yet again.
So the game breaking down at vital stages. Florimo for Brett French. Had Conlon outside, didn't use him, now he will. He has support on the inside from Simons. This is going to wake up the Penrith side. Against the run of play, North Sydney careering away. A great try through their back line. Simons about 10 or 15 metres to the side of the post.
And not a sound from the Penrith spectators, I might add. There hasn't even been a belated cheer for a splendid try. We'll see it again. It came from a set scrum. Out to Florimo, gets the pass away to French. French throws the dummy and goes through nicely. He's got support there. He gets the pass away nicely on the outside there to Conlon. Conlon gets it back inside to Simmons, and Simmons goes skirting away without a hand really being laid anywhere near him. And he gets a little bit of a threat towards the end of that. But it's a first-class effort, sort of try that Simmons has been specialising in for North Sydney. Mind you, they, apart from today, they look dreadful today, but they have been a side capable of scoring a very, very good try. It's only their defence that usually lets them down late in a game when the pressure comes on.
Andrew Simons, 10 tries for him in 1988. Very accomplished finisher with the North Sydney side. So Penrith are going to do it tough, no doubt now. Tony Ray. Well, he's been successful. So that scoreline really getting tight for Penrith now. They lead by just the 3 points, 11-8.
Well, now Penrith, who have led all through this match and have only just been going through the motions now suddenly find that they're only 3 points in front. And as we mentioned from the outset, this is a game they can ill afford to drop as that pursuit of the top 3 positions continues. And look at this ground that North Sydney are making now through some pretty flimsy defence. Well, it went behind, and Tony Ray came up with it. Penrith really now are going to have to put their minds on the job. 32 out from the North Sydney line. Now it's back for Florimo. Baker's there for it, doesn't take it cleanly, but will pick it up on his own quarter line. Now McNeil, and those North Sydney players are offside. So Penrith come up with the penalty. But they've certainly been very lethargic, Penrith, right from the start. So Simmons will take the tap and gives it to Gerard, who makes it to the halfway mark. Those scrums favour North 7-5, but the reverse situation applies in the penalties department. Cartwright. Nine metres inside North Sydney's half. Simmons goes for a bit of a scamper from dummy half. Connor had Delaney with him. Last tackle now signalled for Penrith. Delaney plays it. It's gone back for Baker, the field goal attempt. And he's turned his back on it straight away. He knew it was there. Referee signals that's a fair goal. So the extra point goes on the Penrith tally.
Yes, a beautiful field goal. Look at him here. He kicks the goal, turns his back on it straight away. He knows that it's a 1 point. It's nearly over the black dot. Now that's a couple of field goals he's kicked, and they've been monumental kicks, both of them, clearing the goalpost with the greatest of ease. So that puts them back slightly in front, 12 points to 8.
North Sydney now believing that they have a chance to upset the competition leaders. Well, they've gone without the ball. Bradley will pick it up. Easy yardage inside the quarter line. Back for Delaney. Connor standing flat. Again, it's Delaney. Keeps it alive for Vandervoort. 12 metres out now, Penrith. Trying to mount a charge that's going to wrap this game up for them. Chris Mortimer on the burst. Right in front of the goalposts. Delaney, Gerard, dummied on the run around there for Delaney. Simmons screaming out orders from the dummy half position. Connor, Bradizard, long pass out for Bradley. Connor back for Baker. Just sets himself for the bomb. Conlon standing deep, coming into it. Well taken by Florimo. Bill, a couple of North Sydney changes.
Yes, there are. Martin Bell is coming off, and Adrian Toole also, and their places will be taken by Richard Smith in 21 and Peter Martin in 23.
Working play just outside their own quarter line. Bella. Got through a lot of work, Bella. Back it comes for Connor. Trying to get play out of here. Baker's perfectly placed. He has McNeil outside him. Just straightens up. So the kick was to no real advantage for North Sydney. Penrith back in possession inside the bare half, and the penalty comes against Martin Bella specifically, caught offside just outside Graham Annesley. Peter Martin in 23 on there for Martin Bella. Also Adrian Toole coming off. And in 21, Richard Smith. 3 from 4 for Neil Baker in the windy conditions. A couple of those kicks from long range. And again, some distance out, about 38 metres from the posts. Taking plenty of time. Struck it well, Baker. In fact, he loves it. He's on his way back to his fullback position. Hasn't been making it too difficult for the touch judges today. 14-8, Penrith lead Norths.
The sections of this game today have reminded me of a game we did very early in the season, at Panasonic Cup match-up at on the Gold Coast. I think North Sydney were involved in that one as well. Hasn't been quite as bad as that, but the handling has certainly left a lot to be desired. And Penrith, for a premiership contender, have been very disappointing. But they've done enough to keep their nose in front. Now this is Walker, Barry Walker. Cartwright. And a couple of runners there very nearly slipped the pass too. Gerard. Look at that error count in the handling errors. 22 to 16. North Sydney, 22 handling errors. Now Izzard kicking downfield. One bounce and Conlon was there. Simons. MacArthur and Smith, and now Florimo, and then French. Oh dear, oh dear. It wasn't classic rugby league, was it? Now North still have it though on the halfway mark. Smith will play it. It's been picked up by his North Sydney supporters probably won't appreciate us laughing, but it really is laughable. Connor. If you didn't laugh, you'd cry, wouldn't you?
Well, I'm offended by that sort of football in first grade. That really right off it does.
Now here's Delaney again. Delaney can't go. He's still going. He's had a very fine game, Doug Delaney, as a replacement for Greg Alexander. Baker again, and again turns his back on it. No mistake, right between the posts, so an extra point for the Panthers.
Yes, he's very casual on the State Bank replay. Gets the field goal with ease. It's gone pretty near over the middle of the black dot, but the curious thing, and the one that's intrigued the three of us, is the way he immediately turns his back. As soon as he's kicked the ball and sighted the direction of it, he just turns his back and jogs back. He's not concerned about it after that.
The 7-point lead should be enough for the Panthers now, with not a lot of time remaining. McNeil. Caught by Simons.
Well, the Penrith supporters, I've got to say, are very loyal, and they're very easily pleased because they applaud a 5-yard gain by a wing three-quarter. They roundly applauded McNeil for getting out beyond the quarter line there.
Simmons.
See, he's made a 4-yard gain. They're roundly applauding him again.
Now Connor. And he's able to slip it back for Gerard, but the penalty's been given because he'd been obviously called to play it.
I'm glad he pulled him back, because there might have been an embarrassing moment for Jethro Gerard if he got into the clear as he was and had to try to sprint the 50 metres to score a try. He'd obviously been told to play the ball, and he slipped the pass, so it's avoided the embarrassment of Jethro Gerard.
Well, Tony Ray's going to have the shot for goal, and if successful, we'll have Norths in striking range once again.
Well, the time continues on the clock. It's now 5:53, 52, 51. I don't know that I consider kicking for goal when you're 7 points adrift. But as sure as I say something like that, they score a try and kick a goal, and I've got egg all over my face. So
Tony Ray from 42 metres out and makes no mistakes. That's a fine kick from Tony Ray. They now lead by 15 points to 10.
So they've got to hang on inside the last 5 minutes. Baker with the restart. Down to Bosted, who's probably touched the ball on only 1 or 2 occasions in this match. Now for Peter Martin. North Sydney was certainly nothing to lose. Florimo. French picks up Conlon into the back line. Out for Ian French, who's had a strong game for Norths, one of the few. Keeping it alive now, North Sydney. Tony Ray, long cutout pass for Gavin Jones. Back for Peter Martin. So this Penrith defence is going to be called on for an even bigger effort now. Florimo again. Out wide they go. French down in a very, very solid tackle by Colin Vandervoort. Lost the ball.
Yes, this was a pretty strong hit coming up by Vandervoort. Just watch it. And apparently just, I thought, a touch high. We'll see it again. Well, you'd be the judge yourself there. He might be foxing slightly, but it apparently got him a little bit high on the side of the head. There's no suggestion of a penalty.
Mark Cannon awaiting the outcome on the sideline. Well, he's in real trouble, French. And Mark Cannon has made his way out onto the field. This will be a Penrith put in. Delaney. We believe about 2.5 minutes to go. Vandervoort just taking it from dummy half. Well, if they keep to their earlier plans, this time Walker, they should be just heading it up towards the post before setting for Neil Baker once more. Simmons dummying his way around the ruck. Ball knocked backwards. Right back to Neil Baker. He was the man that they were going to be looking for the field goal yet again. Connor. Last tackle now. Baker's one side of the ruck, Chris Mortimer and Izzard the other. Baker, little chip into the in-goal area. Will it go dead? It will be too heavy from Baker, so it'll come back to the quarter line. North Sydney very, very keen for the restart. Time running out for the Bears. Florimo. 21 today, leading North Sydney, making him the youngest skipper in the Winfield Cup. Richard Smith. North's at the desperate stage. Florimo. The cannon. The fence was up very, very quick. Chris Mortimer, the man that read that play. Hansen. Well, all the North Sydney players are back out here. On the other side of the ruck, they change direction for Ian French. Back for Mark Cannon. Tony Ray tries to straighten the attack up. The pass just bounced into the arms of MacArthur. Cannon, run around with MacArthur. Going nowhere, but now they have numbers if they can shift the ball, North Sydney, and plenty of them. Conlon, while the pass was nearly intercepted by McNeil. He just hung onto that pass far too long, Conlon. He had men over.
Yeah, see it again on the State Bank replay. They literally had the goal line at their disposal here. If somebody could have run 70 yards. But there was the pass just being held up a fraction too long. McNeil couldn't quite get his hands to it, knocked it on. And North Sydney come up with a scrum feed.
North Sydney players claiming the Penrith men coming out of the scrum, the lock forward. Also hands in the scrum there. So the Penrith fans are going to have to go through some time yet before they wrap up the 2 Winfield Cup points. And a big kick from North Sydney with little angle to work with, right down to the quarter line. A game that really hasn't produced much right throughout, and now it's suddenly coming to life at the death. Richard Smith, 15-10, Penrith lead. Tryon Goals going to steal this game for North Sydney. Peter Martin. The Penrith supporters cheering every tackle from their side. Cannon out for Florimo. Long pass out for French. French has Conlon. Back for Bowstead. Simons has moved from his wing to the far side, and the pass has been intercepted. That should just about see it out for Penrith. 15-10. And they're hanging on. There it is. Certainly far from the best game of the season. A long way from it. A mistake-riddled game, but absolutely vital to Penrith in that race for the top 3 positions in 1988. And they've wrapped up the game by just the 5 points.